Allow me to reintroduce myself.
You are now tuning in to the Snap Call Podcast.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Snap Call. This is Xavier.
I'm Ice.
Hector.
And this is episode 5. We are about halfway through the season, fellas.
Yeah, man.
That's gone by pretty quick. What do you guys think?
A lot of hands, a lot of bad beats.
You know what it is? I think what's adding to it is the fact that WSOP is going on. So like we've been doing so much content that it's just been rolling. Time's definitely going by fast. But trying something new today. Got a couple things going. We are on YouTube here, TikTok here.
Yes.
We're on Instagram over here. So
we're live everywhere.
Trying something new. We're just trying to remember what camera to focus on today. But lots to cover. Hustler Casino, WSOP, poker drama probably as usual. And then we've got, some Player of the Year. And then we're going to recap our own tournament that took place this past weekend. So let's jump right into it. Going to start poker, but not talk about specifically... what's this say here? We're not going to be talking about WSOP to start. We're going to be talking about receiving. No, what that says. There we go. The Hustler Casino celebrity game. So lots of people involved in that game. We got Alan Keating, Neymar, Jimmy Butler, Ninja, Ryan Garcia, Dan Bilzerian. It kind of blows my mind how big that Hustler Casino game has gotten.
Yeah.
It's nuts. But good for them for putting out a really good product. Initial thoughts on the game itself, the clips that have come out. Were you able to catch anything from the game? What do you think?
I didn't watch the game on live, but I saw the clips. I liked it. Obviously when you have celebrities playing poker, it brings a lot of attention to the game of poker in general. So it's good for the game of poker. I saw a few clips that I thought was funny. One of them was Jimmy Butler handing out $100 bills after he won to some fans and stuff like that. He won like over 100,000. Also Ryan Garcia acting a fool, drinking and just saying dumb comments and stuff like that. He's always fun to have. That's probably you have guys like that in your poker table. It makes it fun, interesting. And then a big hand with Neymar and Alan Keating. So it's, bringing Neymar to the stream, that's a huge figure in sports. So bringing him, that he's making $100 million a year to play poker, it's pretty big for Hustler Casino and poker in general. So big shout outs to them. And obviously the OG going as far as celebrity poker is Dan Bilzerian. That he's always, everybody always try to where did he make his money? Was it poker? Was it this? Was it that? But those are some pretty big names. So it's good.
I mean, I always loved the poker celebrity game. I don't know if you guys remember that old show. I think they would do like a sit and go tournament or whatever. I don't think it was a cash game, but those were always one of my favorites to watch, just because it's all about the personality and just talking, and and you had that, but you also had just the freeness of being live and just let gamblers gamble, So it was done right. Again, I'm just like Ice. I didn't watch it live. I watched a lot of the clips, but it was exactly what you expected it to be, and it was perfect.
Yeah. No, I same, right? I was too busy doing other things, and it didn't interest me enough to watch it live.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna watch people playing poker at those stakes, I don't really care to see Neymar, who's worth probably a couple $100 million, blowing his money. I want to see real poker players who have some skin in the game. At the end of the day, I mean, obviously, Hustler's doing a great job putting these games together. I want to ask though, knowing what that lineup looked like in advance and how it was so hyped up, was there anyone that you were like, I want to see how they play? Because we know Neymar plays, right? We know Dan Bilzerian plays, but was there anyone when you saw the lineup you were like, I'm interested in seeing if they know how to play?
Not really, but if I had to pick one, it would be Jimmy Butler, just because Ninja, Ryan Garcia, they played on other streams, so you see him prior to this stream. I wanted to see Jimmy Butler. Was he actually a player, or was he can actually play, or is it kind of just starting off and blowing money? Yeah. Because remember, NBA players, their salaries are crazy as well too. So
Well,
He's
he
just,
probably played a ton of poker in the bubble.
Yeah.
I was interested in seeing him. I think the one I was most interested in seeing was probably Dan Bilzerian, because you've heard so many stories about all these years about how he got his money and this and that, and he plays in these like house games that he holds, or holds himself, and the Bellagio, wherever the case, and he's playing for high stakes. Interesting enough, a lot of the clips I saw didn't really involve him. It was mainly with Keating, Jimmy Butler, or Neymar themselves. But I was really interested in seeing how well he was actually going to play, because he talks a big game. He's been talking a big game for 10 plus years now. But again, didn't really get to see clips about him.
Yeah, I mean, the way the lineup is set up, it's more of it's not a poker clinic, it's just fun personalities getting together. Now, if you had all sharks and just Jimmy Butler, they were like, all right, this guy's gonna, he's gonna get slaughtered. Yeah. You know what I mean? But you have all these celebrities, and it's like it's almost like a house game. Yeah. It's just being recorded, So it's no surprise that anybody could take it down. Whereas it's just, was it like, you're not working together, but you're just outmatched.
Cedric Mullins just hit a 500-foot shot foul. Don't appreciate that. Yeah, no, I mean, I thought it was interesting, because if you were to pick who I thought was going to do the best, right, or make the most money, Neymar made a little under 200,000, sorry, a little over 300,000, and Butler made 123,000. I probably would have picked Alan Keating to make the most money, knowing that Neymar's probably in the mix simply because he's a gambler. Surprised that Butler was up there, but that was one of those things where I was like, I want to see if Bilzerian's up there. I want to see if he was actually out there gambling. So I think when you look at the clips, a lot of it was definitely more of an entertainment factor more than anything, especially when you see them running it 5 or 6 times. But I mean, that's what you're gonna get when you're watching a lineup like that.
Who I did want to see that hopefully they can get next time is Mr. Barstool himself.
Dave Portnoy.
Yeah, just because since he had made the comment, should he play the 250 high roller?
Yeah.
I want to see how he actually plays. So it'd be good to have him on the stream.
He seems like one of those types of people that, like, you just gotta like
take him
challenge
for face
him.
value.
You just gotta challenge him. Just be like, you won't.
Yeah.
And see if he actually comes through. He's doing his whole pizza review time thing, and obviously that's taken off. But poker is one of those things, like, there's always a seat at some sort of table in Vegas, and he can come prove himself at any time. So we'll be really interested to see if he ever shows up in a game like that. Guy's worth like 100 mil himself, so we'd like to see him come through. Are there any athletes, celebrities that you would like to see pop up in one of these games that you would think be interesting, like a Michael Jordan or a Tiger Woods or anything? Anyone sticks out?
I would like to see someone just bluff Mike Tyson, just to see how they would play, how he would play. You know what I mean? And
I don't know. I see Mike Tyson grab Hasbulla like he was a little child before. And once all that told me was that, like, he has no sense of anything that's going on. And I almost
just take a chip and just crush it into dust. Be like, I fold.
Yeah, I don't know. What about you? Any celebrities come to mind that you would like to see?
Mr. Barstool himself, I don't know, maybe like somebody like a Derek Jeter, somebody big that's retired from the game that they're able to actually play now. Because before, like, when you're playing, it was kind of like frowned upon for these players to be gambling their money. So now with like DraftKings, ESPN Bet signing players, current players to these betting deals, as far as like promoting their betting app, it's good to see somebody as big as Derek Jeter, or maybe like an A-Rod, or maybe Tom Brady in football, like that nature, playing cards.
Yeah.
Because they play before on the flights, because those guys are always on the road. So.
Yeah. I think for me, like, a couple people stick out. One of them is Jordan, just because he's just probably the biggest degenerate gambler of all time. Like, and one of the biggest, if not the biggest athlete ever.
Like, would he take it serious, or would he just?
I think so, because
if he went down, I think you would get a different Jordan, like, say 2 buy-ins deep.
No, Jordan is probably the last person you want to talk smack to, and he probably hates losing more than anybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's not gonna take it easy on anyone. And then I'd like to see, like, celebrity wise, like, some of those people that were like in Molly's game, like Tobey Maguire plays poker for real at a high level. That'd be kind of interesting to see him pop up on a game like that. Obviously, probably too big for a game like that, but
Matt Damon,
yeah, like, Matt Damon, like from what I understand, he got a good understanding of poker during the movie and during that WSOP when they went for their promo tour. So yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I'd be interested to see that. So speaking of WSOP, Phil Hellmuth made his first final table of the WSOP last week. He finished 4th in the 1500 mixed PLO event. Initial thoughts, we know that Ivy won number 11 creeping up on him. Any sort of added motivation Hellmuth has to get number 18?
I don't think so for Phil. I mean, for Negreanu, he's expressed it like, hey, I'm inspired. I want to go for that bracelet. But Hellmuth, I mean, he's so far up there. I mean, it's gonna take Phil years to get to break even if he loses nothing. And Phil Hellmuth, he's gonna keep doing what he's always doing, and he can still get one this year. If he doesn't, he'll probably get one next year. Like he's that consistent. So I don't think he's worried. He has too much of a buffer in between to be worrying about Phil Ivey, especially that Phil Ivey might not even play next year. You know what I mean? Like he's so streaky that it's like, like you just can't. I just don't think he's putting much stock on it. I think he's his friend, and he's like, hey, good for you, and but I'm gonna sit here and keep being the best.
Yeah.
I actually think the opposite. I think like he kind of feels a little bit of pressure just because the comparison has been, okay, you have the most WSOP bracelet, but everybody considers Phil Ivey a better player than him.
Yeah.
So now Ivey comes out, wins a bracelet right off the bat.
Yeah.
Then he's making deep runs in other events as well too. So Phil Hellmuth's like, if he takes home 2 bracelets this year, 3 bracelets, I take on 0, then people are gonna say, okay, Ivey can just play whenever he wants and wins. So if I'm Phil Hellmuth, I feel like he does have a little pressure on him. Not that much, just because it's Phil Hellmuth. You have 17 bracelets, so it's just like you're always gonna be considered one of the greatest of all time. But yeah, personal like ego and stuff like that, he has to feel a little bit of pressure, knowing that Phil Ivey comes in, wins a bracelet, and he made the final table. Then when he lost, you can see some. You know how Phil Ivey, he's always a crybaby. I mean, Phil Hellmuth, he's always a crybaby, but he still is competitive. So he wants to win.
Yeah, every single one of them is important to him. Maybe this one a little bit more, just because it is a mixed game. You know what I mean? And that is one of the arguments that, is 17. So we were wrong last week that he doesn't have any mixed game bracelets. He does have 3 out of the 17. So, just want to prove himself a little bit more. So maybe the mixed games is a little bit more important to him. But as far as, bracelet race, I don't think he's worried.
I mean, I side with Ice here, right? Like, Hellmuth is rocking a hat right now with the number 18 on him. Because he's expecting number 18 to come this year. So seeing Phil win one, he's already expecting to win one, and then Phil slowly creeping up. He 100% is feeling that he wants to win another bracelet. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Like anyone in a competitive industry, when you're not considered the greatest of all time, you're gonna play with a chip on your shoulder, because no matter what Phil Hellmuth says, he believes he's the greatest of all time. Like it's that simple. So I think he's feeling a little bit of the heat, especially with Ivy winning one so quickly. I think there's also another added element too, right? Ivy's playing a lot of high roller events with smaller fields, tougher fields, but smaller fields. So he's gonna make a lot more deep runs. While Hellmuth is gonna play some of those, but he's also playing a lot of really big fielded events too. So the chances of Ivy, in my opinion, of getting another bracelet before Phil gets one, before Hellmuth wins one, is up there. So I don't know. He's good enough where he can win one. Obviously,
I'm gonna put him right up there with those greats that never received a championship type conversation, the Patrick Ewings and Charles Barkley's and that sort. So he's one of those that were just up there that just hasn't had their day in the sun, and he finally has it now. So good for him. I don't care how the final table was. It just happens. I mean, look at Jose. Jose, our last tournament, he had 2 big blinds with 7 people left, 1.7 big blinds to be exact, and he ended up taking it down, knocking out the next 6 players in a row. So
two tournaments ago.
I mean, does he care that he sucked out? No. He cares that he won.
No. I mean, it kind of just goes back to that old adage, right? Like, we want to believe and understand that poker's a skill game, but sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Oh,
And
yeah.
especially in a tournament like that, you're sucking out like that. I'd rather run like that than make all of the correct moves, because at the end of the day, he won his first bracelet, right? You know,
Yeah.
You gotta win
entertaining.
your flips.
Yeah, you got to win your flips. The most entertaining final table so far, just from a wildness perspective. Hey, that's how it goes. I mean, I've always said, like, if I ever made a final table, like, that's how I want my rail to be. Like, I want y'all ordering drinks. I want us to be loud. I want us to be annoying. You know, like,
Yeah.
nothing's promised. Who knows if you'll ever make another one? So he's obviously a fantastic poker player. You know, so I'm sure he'll have a lot more success coming his way, and he's got a lot more money now to play whatever events he wants.
Yeah, we'll definitely see him in other high rollers and.
I think he's running. I think he's running pretty deep in one of the most recent ones, or the 250 one. I think he ran deep in. If I can get this mouse to work.
Yeah, he
But,
finished, I think, 3rd or 4th.
so yeah, he's been playing pretty good. There we go. Let's see chip counts here. Actually, I wanted to look at the Players Championship, the 50K. See what we're looking at here. Give you a live update. Players Championship, 50K buy-in. We've had 75 entries, 43 remaining. I would imagine it's probably Sunday, Monday. There's late registration probably closed by now.
Ms. Rocky's still in it.
Showman's in
That's his
there.
event. That's his event.
Hanson. Oh, Hanson made an appearance. I like it. Negreanu's in it. Aria's in it. Ivy, of course, is going to be in it. Chris Brewer's in it. Chidwick. So obviously all the big names are going to be there, but it's nice to see some of these guys still alive.
Jason Mercier's in it.
Isolder's still in there. Victor Blum. Eli Lesra is out.
Sean Deeb's out. Thank God.
Deeb's out. Thank God. Livingston's out. Thank God.
Oh my God.
And we're referring Ben Yu's out. Let's go. We'll give a recap on our fantasy teams here in a minute, but you know, Ice is just running away with it. So whenever we see Ice's players just getting donked off, we gotta celebrate it. But yeah, with that said, poker is alive and well, right? 2023, 10,416 entries in the Millionaire Maker. This year, the record was broken, 10,939 entries. We made predictions, right, before the WSOP started. One of my predictions was that the main event last year, which had the most entries ever, was going to break this year. Millionaire Maker might be an indication that might happen. What would you guys say is contributing to poker and its popularity here booming again, right? It boomed 20 plus years ago. Online poker, Black Friday kind of stalled things a little bit, but it's picking back up, right? Like, what would you say is some of the contributing factors to poker blowing up again?
It's a lot, actually. First, there's more poker rooms being built. So even if it's a small, like, little dog track poker room, but there's more being built. Two, the draw Las Vegas. Because poker can be live and well, but if you have a place that's, like, not attractive for people to go, you won't have so many people. Las Vegas is the place to be during the summer. Like, let's be real. It's top restaurants, top pool parties, the best poker, entertainment, shows, everything. Another thing is also all these celebrity streams, too. A lot of celebrities, you know, draw the attention of other players. Then also there's a lot of foreigners, too, that come. So maybe it's easier for them to come to the U.S. There's not that much as far as, like, maybe visas and stuff like that they have to deal with. All that plays into how many players join, because we might want to say that 80-90% are Americans, but it's not. The WSOP, it's a lot of Europeans, a lot of foreigners and stuff like that. So, yeah.
No, 100%. What do you say?
A couple factors. So one, online poker. I mean, we have it regulated in a couple states, and you know, people are still trying to get it going. But in those states, you have all the, like, they are running satellites almost daily, you know, to get into these events. And so you're having all these people, you know, just like our guy Ryan Slocum, you know, that's their goal is to get there, and they're able to do it because there's so many opportunities. Club GG that we went on, they're giving away a main event seat every day or every week, right? Every week for the year straight, and you know, they're not the only ones. And you got WPT is doing it as well.
WPT.
They have their own. They have their own. ACR is giving away seats.
WSOP's website alone.
Yeah,
WSOP.
WSOP is
Everyone's offering a package.
Yeah, they have their own, monthly subscription they're giving away satellites. So I think these satellites are just they're filling up most of these things, which is great because one, you have these big buy-ins, so you get these big prizes, but two, you have a soft field.
Yeah.
You have a pretty soft field because the way you play in a in a free ticket $50 game is not how you play in a 1500.
Yeah.
The other thing would be social media and YouTube, watching vloggers, seeing people grind 1-2, seeing them grind 2-5, and watching them move up. Move up stakes to now have a livable life, not only, a YouTube community and all this stuff, but they're able to hey, I can actually, this instead of a side hustle it's an actual job. You know what I mean? So people can see that and they can see that it's obtainable. Whereas before you didn't have that. You know what I mean? You just had, at least when I was coming in, you had rounders, you had WSOP, that came out in the summer, and maybe some high stakes stuff, but you couldn't see how they actually got it. You didn't have a blueprint. You just had to go play and figure it out on your own.
Yeah, I think a big thing is, all those things are right. I think if I had to pick two different avenues that have really contributed, is one is Club GG. I think is one of the biggest things, right? You're talking about thousands and thousands of players. Club GG has a lounge, for their platinum members to go and get snacks and stuff during the WSOP. Like, the value that club provides and the reps that you can get and just the packages you can get for just $50 is crazy. That's something we weren't even really aware of until really Ryan, our buddy, and so we had to get schooled on that. But I think that's a huge thing, and I think it was Jungle Man said on Twitter, he was thanking Club GG. I want to say it was Jungle Man. He was thanking Club GG and basically saying hey, this is amazing for the growth of poker. Thank you for doing what you do, right? And the thing is, the way their reach is incredible because us being in Florida, we have no online poker, right? But because you do the subscription-based type of thing, it allows us to have a chance to win this package. So that availability that we may not always have is available through something like Club GG. Yeah. The other thing is just poker in general being more readily available. So a lot more card rooms popping up, and then card rooms renovating and updating, right? So the card rooms down south now it got converted to the Harrah's, one of them, right? But Pompano Beach, I think it was ever. So so a lot of those casino card rooms are renovating, investing, and doing a lot more from the marketing standpoint. We've been going to Daytona forever, right? We never saw Daytona on TV up until Orange City opened up. Now, Orange City opens up, and now for the last 7 years since Orange City's been open, we have now seen billboards on I-4, ads on social media, TV commercials. That's something you didn't see before. So they're pumping money into getting more people. Yeah. So credit to all of that. There's really no wrong answer there, right? Poker is just doing very, very well. It's growing. I think that's always been a common theme on our episodes is we just want to see the game grow, and it's continuing to go that way.
I got two more for you. Poker staking being so easy now. Yeah. You know what I mean? That you one, you can just do it on ACR or any other site that's just hey, I wanna back this person. So now that I can't play, but I got the money I could let you play or multiple people play. Yeah. So now you have more people going in, and it's just growing in that way. The other one was I lost it. I thought about the poker staking, I lost it. Yeah, I'll let it go. If it comes back to me, I'll jump back in.
Okay. Well, since you're going, lead us into this next one here.
Okay.
Hopefully it comes back to you.
Yeah. Right. Oh man, what was that? All right. Anyway, if you are watching us on TikTok or Instagram, we are responding to the chat on YouTube. So just an update there. So yeah, current WSOP Player of the Year, we got Scott Seaver in first place. I believe he has 2,600 points, and Chris Hutchinson, who he just took down that we talked about, has 20 is under him by 100 points, and then Jeremy Osmus with 2,450. So it's anybody's race. it's anybody's race. I mean, it's crazy to see that Chris is so close when Seaver has 2 bracelets.
That's nuts. Yeah.
So I am curious to see what the rest of his summer has looked like.
Yeah.
That
It makes
he is
you
up, 'cause
wonder-
it can't just be the one tournament.
Yeah. It makes you
Finished
wonder.
third, I think, in the one that was the other day that Phil Ivey got lost on the pocket 10 hands.
Yeah, like I would think Ivy would be closer up there.
Yeah.
Check it out. I think it's a 250. Was it 250?
250K.
Yeah.
I think it's just interesting how it's weighted, right? Because like you can win.
Yeah, he finished third.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, there you go. So like you finished third in a $250,000 tournament is gonna weight a lot more than something that's $1,000.
Oh, there's Jeremy at 7.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah. So they're
that's
yeah,
a big chunk. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean that's crazy. So here we are last week, right? We were thinking Seaver was gonna run away with it with 2 bracelets, but then you got Osmus running good in high rollers, Chris winning a high roller and running good in the other ones. And then, John Racers won a bracelet. Yuri's won a bracelet. Ivy's won a bracelet. Deeb hasn't won one, but he's running hot.
Yeah.
Prosiak, Mizrahi, all of them have won bracelets.
great.
And Shulman. So that kind of rounds out the top 10 for the most part. Yeah, I mean, if there's one consistent thing when you look at all these names is they are all professional poker players, and they are all doing very consistent, right? You don't have some random Joe Schmo that just got money killing these tournaments, right? So
Yeah.
it's a skill game, Joe. There's a reason why these guys are at the, with that round out the top 10.
Isildur, really?
Yeah,
14.
Isildur was in first place in
Haven't seen his name.
the tournament that Chance Corneth finished, I think, second. Like he was first for a little bit. He doesn't have a bracelet yet, but he was first when they were like, he was chip lead with like 4 left or something.
Yeah.
So
Isn't the ground up there? Top 25, maybe?
I don't doubt it. Doubt it. Let's put it this way: Foxen has more points than him in a 25K. So
Yeah. Oof. Not even top 50.
all it
Maria,
takes,
It's just
Oh,
weird
look at
because
that.
all it
I
takes
feel
is
like
one.
every other vlog he's in the final table.
He'd be lying then, because
Or at least it looks like.
Daniel
final
got
12.
Daniel got his bracelet in the first, or not bracelet, but he got almost that final table. He was just outside the final table in basically the first event
Yeah.
or whatever it was, and then he hasn't really
Well, he was in the
Ran
final
deep.
12 with Ivy.
in that event. Yeah. But that's really his bulk. Everything else has
Yeah.
probably been a min cash by his standards,
Yeah.
But so we have these player of the year, right? And
Yeah.
we've kind of spawned off our own fantasy league, which we've been keeping track
Yeah.
of every single week. So as we mentioned, Ice has just been killing us. We'll give you guys a quick look as to what that looks like. Right there, Ice is just absolutely destroying us. If you're on Instagram, if you're on TikTok, head over to YouTube because we've got the standings pulled up right now. But Ice has almost 500 points in fantasy. Hector's just under 200. I'm
280.
280.
Yeah.
Now there's a couple of players that we haven't accounted for in terms of points.
Yeah.
But for the most part, Ice is running away with this thing.
Yeah. All his guys are just.
And the good
firing
thing
at all
is, these
cylinders.
guys are going to keep playing the rest of the summer. So, with Yuri, Ben Yu, Sean
My guys are
Deep,
playing the whole summer too.
and
They're
Chance.
just
So.
not performing.
They're just
You
not-
know how some guys, they
just
win
not
right
playing
away
good.
and then don't.
Yeah.
They just stop. These guys are going to.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's fun. We've said, it's fun to do this because it allows us to keep track of players that we wouldn't normally keep track of, right? Like we've known Yuri for years, but I'll be honest, I didn't always keep track of what Yuri's doing in these tournaments. Yuri's got
Yeah.
5 bracelets in 5 years. He's absolutely killing it. And I think the coolest thing about Yuri is he's doing it in every type of game, every poker discipline he's winning bracelets in. So definitely like to see that dominance.
It's good to be winning something, unlike Snapcall tournament. Go ahead, Hector.
Oh man.
Recap that for us,
Yeah.
please.
So we held our 3rd tournament, and it was more competitive this time around, which was good to see. Some people fell out, so it was supposed to be our biggest one.
Now,
coming
recap
in.
to them like what the mixture of for those that haven't seen us before. We talk about the recap.
Sure,
What type of players are coming to?
Sure. So when we first started this, we were holding house games anyway, and it was just guys hanging out, and there's us who are like the the people who played poker the most, who have a good understanding of the game, and then a lot of the players who were just like, hey, I like to play, I like to get in it, and hey, it's your turn to act, and those sort of things that they didn't really get a good understanding. And once we started this league, we really saw them kind of take it serious and start to learn, right? So now, I mean, from one of our memes that like Moses, there was like, I call, and I was like, you have nothing. Why are you calling? I was like, I was bluffing. I was like, you don't call. Calling is not bluffing. You need to bet. And but you don't see those things from him anymore. You don't see those. I mean, yeah, they still make mistakes. Yeah, Victor's, they're still making mistakes, but they're making less of them. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they're thinking through hands. They're getting a lot better. You know what I mean? So so I felt this one had the most competitive edge a little bit. I think at the first and second one, we definitely had a lot of. Dude, I can't even call your hand because I don't even know you understand the rules right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. There were still a couple people that were like that, but those were brand new. They just came in. You know what I mean? So if they do come, we do expect to see them getting better as well. Because that's what we're here to do, is just kind of elevate the game and elevate everybody's game. Just get used to taking hands and thinking things out and just having fun at the same time. So Brian, he took it down this tournament. He's missed the first two, and now he's jumped up in points. Huh?
He was there the first one. He has a T-shirt, so he was there for what? He was there. He's in one of our photos for a T-shirt.
All right. Well, then he didn't. He didn't final table.
He was there the last one. He was there the last one because we gave out the T-shirts last tournament. Okay. So he's in that pick.
But this is his first points. Then.
Yeah. He didn't final table last.
Okay, so that was my mistake. But yeah, so he took it down. Xavier over here got second. It was a good heads up battle. They went over, I don't know, 30 hands, something like that, until winner was, and then Bully got third. So pretty good there. Going with points. Me and Xavier are now tied for first.
I gotta recount that shit.
Yeah,
I don't believe that.
You're tied for first. I ended up with fifth place, but I couldn't get anything going. And Ice is a really good dealer. He's I'm not sure if he did you buy it?
Did he play? No. So heads up. Yeah, great. So real quick to kind of recap the players, just kind of elaborate. So. I just want to make a shout out for Brian because, we have us three, obviously the most consistent.
You have people making comments, oh, why so much? Why so much? And I would just laugh because it's just like, that's a standard 3-bet. That's a standard 3-bet. Yeah. And if I flop top, hey, I don't want you to get there. And they're just like, oh, that's a lot. So.
Well, that and like I was telling him about Victor earlier, it's like I made it 250 at fucking 510 and 4 of you called. So now I'm going to make it 350. Yeah. Like I'm trying to send a message like, guys got to be able to lay your hands, and if you're playing 3-4 hands in a row, there's a problem. You shouldn't be doing that, right? But yeah, I mean, no, I mean, I can vouch for Ice. You were ahead when you typically got it in.
And then the hand against you, I probably would have been chip lead at that table after that. And then Brian would have been busted, and then that was when the rebuy period was over, so he didn't really. Yeah. He would have been eliminated. And then Boulevard finished third, but Boulevard plays any two hands, and. Boulevard gets lucky because a lot of people, since he plays so open, a lot of people call and then like they would shove all in on him and they have nothing, or they will call with nothing.
Yeah, they don't know how to card read.
Yeah, Boulevard gets the game. He will have the chip lead and then he will call any raise. Like he will call like 800 here, 1,000 here, 2,000 here, and then he'd be like, man, I just lost 11K in the last 6 hands, and just calling with any two, just to see if he gets lucky.
Yeah, his play works with most of our crowd, just not with us. Yeah. Like we're not getting caught by
yeah, we can sniff it out. I think the frustrating thing with Boulevard is when he's tanking and he has absolutely nothing. It's just like, you're slowing the game down. Let's go. But the thing is, he understands the game better than most people there. Yeah. But the thing is, he doesn't have the patience to wait it out. So like he would do so much better if he just was patient. But it works in his favor sometimes. Yeah. We had 2 people go all in blind they raised they called it 3-bet pre, and Boulevard was in there. And Boulevard's looking at his cards, and then they both called it blind, and then on the flop they both pushed all in blind, and Bolivar looks down at an ace. And these guys are literally donating chips to the loosest player in the game. And but I think we all know that like those chips aren't going to stay in front of him the whole time. Yeah. And surprisingly, he held on long enough to finish third, but he wasn't going to win the tournament. Not with the way he plays.
Yeah. Shout out to Dennis making it to 4th place. He's creeping up there. He's doing better every tournament. And Jonathan, our new guy, that he came over. Yeah. And he final table, first time ever playing, and he did really well.
Jonathan played good. I didn't know what to expect when he came over. There's a couple of things that I had to kind of like be like, hey, like he the 1 chip rule, you know, he wanted to raise, but did the whole 1 chip rule thing, so I had to explain that to him. So he probably thought I was a stickler at first, but I was just everyone's playing by the rules. Just want to make sure it's across.
That's why I was surprised that I saw him there, because he was at my table at the beginning. And he had good tendencies, but then there were certain things that were just like, okay, this is like, all right, he's still green, as you could say. And but see him at the final table was like, all right, you held your own.
Yeah, he was a cool guy. I mean, Ice mentioned how your gameplay, you felt like you played perfect, didn't feel like you necessarily had any mistakes, and you got it in while you're ahead.
I said the same thing before the stream.
I would say I
got overfolded.
Yeah. I would say I probably played the worst out of all the tournaments so far. The big hands I won, I mean, I didn't play it wrong. Like, I just got lucky on the river, but Brian should have never been calling me down anyway. I was just trying to take the side pot. But, like, one of the biggest hands I won was against Ice, and I had a terrible read. Like, I thought I was 100% dead on. I almost basically snap called him when he pushed, and it was a bad read, and I can say that because I was going off of the 3rd player in the hand, and my brother was just staring at the queen on the flop, and I just couldn't get over the fact that I could tell he wanted to play his hand, and all I could think was, if you're thinking that much, you must have a queen. What else are you calling with? He folds, he pushes, and then I ended up calling him, and it was just one of those situations where it was like, I should have been playing him against my brother, and I got lucky. I hit a king on the river, but. Again, that kind of goes back to what you were saying. Like, sometimes, hey, it's okay to be lucky, right? I felt like I played a lot better in every other tournament, but that's poker.
It's one of those hands where you have 2 overs, so if you feel like I'm bluffing, you make the call.
I mean, even said it too. I thought we were chopping potentially. I didn't put you on aces, but I thought you could have had something like ace king, ace jack. At worst, I thought we were chopping, but again, just terrible read.
Yeah, I think if I would have checked, and then you would have led and I would have pushed, maybe. But since I led, I think it was maybe could have folded that. And I'm talking about like actually legit tournament wise. Just in, because I'm going to be honest, these house games sometimes are just like the blinds keep going up, guys are taking their time, and you just want to play, and it's $20-$30. So it was like, But if it was like, as far as like in a casino, you gotta have the perfect read to.
No. If we're talking, that's a real tournament. No, there's no way in hell I'm calling you. I'm probably, if you're checking at me, I'm leading out on that flop, and if you're pushing, I'm definitely folding. But I will say, even though this is a little tournament that we have fun with, when I play in a hand with you guys, I'm typically not messing around though. I'm prying as hard as I can.
I take it super serious. Like I get pissed off. Like I was like. I was dealing the rest of the time.
So the king came out, and I look at him, and he goes, "I know." I didn't even flip my cards over yet. He goes, "I know." And I was just like, "Oh man!" But like I said, bad read by me, worked out. But it happens.
I slowed on me in the last that he went all in against my big blind. I only had like 4 big blinds, and he had like 2. So I had queen 6, and then he had ace 9.
He went.
He had ace 9, but he only showed the ace, and then 9 on the river, and I'm like, all right, I got it because I had a 6, and they paired, and he's like, whoop, and I'm like, oh, okay.
You gotta have some fun.
Yeah. So, a little slow roll, but yeah, it's all fun. So
it's fun to needle each other in those situations. If we were playing for a lot more money, we'd probably be avoiding each other. Especially knowing that there's only so many good players at these games, right? But yeah, I mean, other than that, was there anyone else that stuck out to you that played really well, or that you're looking forward to playing the next time? Because knowing where the standings are now, right? Like, we're tied for first. you know, there's still 2 tournaments left, right? Ice can make a run and taking down the next 2 tournaments or getting a first and second, be right there. So I feel like there's a lot more pressure on us, not just because we're sharing first place, but we got to keep the momentum because I felt like I overtook you easy, and then when you said we were tied, I was like, really? Like, 'cause I have like a top 5 finish in the first 3 and 2 second places.
I have first and third, and then, so first, third, and fifth, and you have what? Second,
and fifth, I think.
Yeah,
something like that.
So and then weighted from how many people are in the tournament as well. Yeah, but, that's kind of they've been around the same.
We just gotta push for continued attendance, right? Like had people today asking when's the next one because they want to come. So we just got to keep growing, and the tournaments are growing every single time. Like Hector said, they're continuing to be just as competitive, which is nice for us because. While it may mean less buy-ins and a smaller prize pool, it means the games are becoming more and more competitive. So but we're consistently at the top. At the end of the day. Now I can't speak for all of us.
Do you want to show off? Do you want to show off what you got?
Yeah. Let's bust it out. Can you pass me that right there?
So show his second prize when he gets him.
I think we mentioned it before on stream, but we Hector kind of got me into poker and
golf.
Golf, and. We splurged with some of the money that we got recently, so I got myself a little putter. I always said one of the first things I was going to get when I got my own clubs, outside of these hand-me-down clubs I got, is a putter. So couldn't wait. I went the very next day and got this, and so this is my baby.
Pay straight cash.
Yep. Basically, I had like a little gift card, and then the rest was just straight cash. So, but yep. Good stuff regardless. Just love how we're continuing to do this, and hopefully the games continue to grow, and we'll
2 more
go from there. We got to do something. We got to do something special for the last one. Like I'm tempted to talk to David and ask him like.
Everyone seemed to like the bounties.
Yeah, I'm tempted to ask the bounties. Yeah, the bounties already are what they are. But
we did a little mystery bounty.
If we can do the game at the hotel, and I know there's probably some gray area there. But David doesn't care. But he has like a little small ballroom, very small ballroom. It's like 1,200 square feet or something. If we could do it there, the tables and chairs are already there. There's a wet bar. We can set everything up.
What time we got to leave though?
There's a projector. It don't matter. There's no guest rooms on the floor next to that ballroom.
Was that the Fairfield?
Yeah, by UCF. So
by library.
1,200 square feet right there. We can run the game. We can set it up however we want. Multiple tables. The chairs are already there. There's a projector already. We can put a game on or something. So I don't know. Just an idea. But yeah, I don't know. Let's get the juices flowing because we got to close it out with a bang and then think about how we can make the next series just as interesting. So
that'd be nice.
Yeah. But Ice, let's move on. Let's go.
Let's talk about a little high roller action that happened yesterday. Santos took down the super high roller 250K event for $5,415. That's it. What are your thoughts on him and the 20?
So I've seen him play in the high stakes games, the cash games before. To be honest,
that's the second bracelet.
To be honest, I've never really followed his game before. The one thing I will say though is when I opened up Twitter today, everyone was congratulating him. Everyone, I mean, Jungle Man, Dwan, and they all talked about how it couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. I can't say anything beyond that. Obviously, he's a really good player. I've seen him play the high stakes games, but he's obviously loved in the poker community. You love to see good players, good things happen to good players. So that's really all I can go by.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about him. I mean, 250 just.
It's a mortgage.
The realm of possibility. Yeah, I'm like that just sounds like a crazy buy-in. I think 100K is probably my cap that I think is a reasonable buy-in for a tournament. 250 just sounds absurd.
You know what's crazy?
You know, just like the million for one drop. I was like, what is wrong with y'all?
By the end of day one, when I was reading the updates for that tournament, there were players that had already bought in a second time. You got 2 buy-ins a second time, and I'm like, how are you? I don't understand. How are you getting through the first one?
Yep.
There was an error on WSOP's website with the chip counts where Daniel Negreanu...
He got so excited.
I took a snapshot of it. I guess he rebought or something or just went ahead, but for some reason, it said he had 30 million in chips when everyone had like 11. And I knew something was wrong because there's just no way he took like 50% of the chips away. But I was so hyped. But then like 45 minutes later, I refreshed my phone and Negreanu had busted.
No, you were like, he's second to last. How is that possible?
I was like, what's going on? I was at the bar for my brother's birthday, and I was mad. I was
They gave
down
him an
in
extra zero
Maker's
by
Mark.
mistake.
So just get the little background on Santos. He owns a casino in India. So he's
Oh, that's the one.
yeah.
That's the
He
one.
had
Okay. Yeah,
he
yeah.
has
I know
money.
You mentioned him.
Yeah, you
before.
mentioned.
He has money. He played on high stakes poker. He plays on No Gamble No Future.
Yeah.
That's why I've seen him on high stakes. Yeah.
He plays at the Hustler stream, and he's also these house games that they talk about with these big time celebrities and the millionaires. He's one of those millionaires that play in,
Gotcha.
and he gives out action. He's super friendly. Then I don't know if you saw his rail. He had Nick Airball and Wesley and the Professor and stuff like that. All those guys
All
that
the
play.
guys from the game, basically.
Yeah, from the Hustler stream and stuff like that. So, and he's really down to earth. If you watch him play like that, he'll laugh, he'll joke around like that. But it's not. You can tell he's not conceited or cocky because he has all the money.
Yeah.
So, by him putting 250 down, like it's nothing for him. Like he owns a
Yeah.
casino. So
It makes sense why everyone was talking about how nice he is because he probably stakes a lot of players, and he probably has a big stake in the Hustler games and probably stakes a lot of those players as well to keep it as juicy as it is. So, makes sense. Makes sense.
And then, what are you guys' thoughts on Phil Ivy's hand where he gets sucked out on the river in the 250K high roller? Just give you another little insider. He still profited 250K.
I mean, at a 250K buy-in, a 250K profit is a min cash. So, it's nice to win 250K, but to think that you had to at least cash to make that much, at least cash, like that's crazy.
I think he finished 11th or 13th or something like that.
Yeah, they didn't pay out a ton of players. Obviously, it was a smaller field, but I mean, hey, Ivy can't win them all. You know, he's been running real
the
good.
guy that sucked out on him finished second. So just think about where Ivy would have been. You know, obviously the guy had I think like 15 or 16,000. He had 16 million. He had like 4 million in chips. So almost 5. So that doubled him up. Probably put him closer to 10.
Yeah.
Now you know what Ivy with chips is. It's hard to get it from him. So
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably the only way you're gonna beat Ivy in that spot is getting lucky on the river. Because heads up, Ivy's probably running.
I'm just happy to see him keep playing. You know, he's good for poker, and he's been cashing in these high rollers.
He's focused.
Yeah, he's playing good, and how can I say? You can see content because all the cameras go straight to Phil Ivey, which is good.
Yeah.
It's the bucket hat.
Yeah.
That bucket hat, man. That is a fashion statement this year.
So
You're gonna see mountains of buckets next year.
including a
Everybody's
snap
gonna have
call
a
bucket hat.
Oh, a snap call bucket hat sounds good.
There you go.
So we're done with poker now. Let's talk about a few sporting events that are happening. We have Game 7 of the Stanley Cup is tonight. Currently live right now. You got the Florida Panthers and the Oilers. Panthers were up 3-0, and now it's Game 7. Now you guys don't watch too much hockey, but what are your thoughts?
My thoughts is Florida seems to be in the Stanley Cup every year.
Yeah,
It's
some
a
Florida
different-
team, right?
Yeah, some Florida team. We had the Tampa doing great, and now it's the Panthers here. Like I don't watch it at all.
Oh, here we go.
But
There's a score for you.
it's cool to see that the hottest state is really good at ice.
Yeah, right. I mean,
Well, we do have Polk County. Oh, not that ice. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I do like going to the Solar Bears games.
yeah.
Like I like watching hockey, in person, but yeah, to watch it on TV, not my thing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a good point about Florida typically having a really good team, right? Panthers have been good for the last couple of years. Obviously, the Lightning have won multiple times. Can't really say I watch hockey like that, but if I'm going to claim a team, it's going to be the Las Vegas Knights, simply because of the UCF Knights correlation and the fact that we just love Vegas and the colorways. Yeah. And they're good. Obviously, they won last year, and they're only have been in existence for 5 years or so, 6 years.
Won
So
2 years ago, I think. Last year.
No.
Last year, the Avalanche, I think, won it.
No, I'm saying like they've only existed for like
Yeah.
so many years because the Knights are a pretty young team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean if they come back from 3-0, I think I read that only one team has ever come back from 3-0 in the finals, not just the playoffs, but actually finals, and that was the 42 Toronto Maple Leafs. I mean, coming back from 3-0 in any sport's wild. Obviously, NHL loves the Game 7 because that just means more money for them. I mean, that's nuts. As it is right now, end of the second period, 2-1 Panthers. I like it.
They better win 3-0. If they choke, it's
At home, too.
Yeah, at home, it'd be an
Yeah.
embarrassment. So if I'm the owner, I get rid of everybody on that team.
Yeah.
You're just.
Yeah, if they lose, I'll never go to a Panthers game.
Another thing happening this week is the NBA draft, and obviously, this is one of the weakest drafts in history. But one of the big names that keeps getting brought up and why people tuning into this draft is going to be Bronny James. He's son of LeBron James. What are you guys' thoughts on Bronny James, and what's his draft predictions? Where do you think he's going?
If Bronny James was not Bronny James, he's going undrafted. He's at best a GDL league player, whatever you want to call it. He's playing in the 3-on-3 with Ice Cube if he's lucky. I mean, I hate to say it. He wasn't thriving at USC, and in order to get drafted, you have to at least be a solid player. He's undersized. He obviously seems like a good kid, got a good head on his shoulders. His parents have obviously steered him the right way, have been able to navigate through all the distractions of being one of the greatest players of all time, son. But the skill level's not there. I mean, that's just the truth. And, they're going to do what they have to do to get him because any team where he's on, LeBron will find a way to be with him, even if it's for the one season. But let's be real. He's going to get to where he's going to go because of his dad, and more power to him. I mean, I would too, but it's just unfortunate if he gets drafted because that's a spot that should have gone most likely to someone else, even in a weak draft.
Yeah.
He will get drafted, but do you think he will get drafted in the first round because people want LeBron?
No.
No?
So I have a totally different take on Bronny. Bronny's real athletic. He can pass. He got good, he's like a floor general. He got good core vision. He plays solid defense. He is undersized, but he can guard a point guard. And I feel like if you're not a top 10 pick, most of the other picks are pretty much bench players. So I feel like Bronny would be a good late round, early second round pick, and see what he can do. He's only 19. He had that heart condition, so his minutes were capped at USC, because of his health issues. And then you're the son of LeBron James, which means you have that pro mentality already. Like, your dad's living it, you're going to live that life, and they know, right and wrong. They know the work ethic it takes. Yeah. And also, sometimes there's a team that's willing to give a shot to somebody. Sometimes these later round draft picks, they don't get a shot. They ride the bench 3-4 years. They go to another team, and all of a sudden, they scoring. They averaging 12, 13 points, I think he'd be like a Drew Holiday, just without the scoring. I feel like he'll be maybe 6, 7, 8 points a game. Can come off the bench, play solid defense, and he will put fans in the seats. So,
I mean, I look at him getting drafted as more of a business decision more than anything, which I can respect. I think even then, there's obviously a lot of upside. He's young, he has potential, but I'm sure there are other players that can make the same argument that would probably or should get drafted before him if he wasn't Bronny James. I'm not sure. I don't see it. I don't see it. The few games I saw him play, he didn't really make anything memorable.
Yeah.
he had a good combine with the threes. He made 12, 13 threes in a row.
I mean, I can find someone at the Y that can make nine of them.
Yeah,
Well, I'm just saying,
a
hand in your
If he goes
face.
first round, second round.
Yeah, a hand in your face is
He
completely
will get
different.
picked up.
I mean, you got Lethal Shooter or whatever his name is on Instagram. He knocks 50 in a row, right? I don't know.
But my thing, for example, is you have a guy like Lonzo Ball that gets drafted second, right? What you don't think Bronny can be Lonzo just without the size? Obviously, the injuries kill Lonzo, but when Lonzo was at the Lakers, he was 5 points, 6 rebounds, 4 or 5 assists, like that. He wasn't a top assist guy. He wasn't a top rebounder. He wasn't a top scorer either. So it's just you can draft this guy, come off the bench and see what he's able to do, and he can, sell tickets and give him a chance because he has the potential to be great.
I mean, I guess I look at the body of work, right? While, Lonzo, when he got to the NBA, he wasn't putting up these, amazing numbers, and we're saying, oh, Bronny could at least do that. But look at what Lonzo was doing in high school. Look at what Lonzo was doing at UCLA. Like, at least he was putting up top numbers, right? Like, Bronny in high school was not dominating high school ball.
It's All-American. McDonald's All-American.
But that don't mean nothing to me when I look at his stats and I see other guys doing better. You know, like, again, that might be kind of like that whole nepotism thing. Because that putting him as an All-American just adds to his accolades, and then that just builds up his case, right? I don't see it.
As a dad, I would like to see father-son team, run together, and have a winning season. They don't necessarily win the championship because I don't see that in the cards.
I just feel like ex-NBA players that play with Bronny, like pick up games, like train Bronny and stuff like that, they have nothing but like good stuff to say about him.
Yeah.
The only thing they say, he's kind of passive. Like he has like that killer instinct, but he just doesn't unleash it.
Passive? His dad? We
Yeah.
know LeBron can average 40 a game in his prime if he wanted.
And one of
passes the ball.
the guys that like I like the way he commentates, even though he's out there, is Gilbert Arenas. And Gilbert Arenas said like Bronny has the talent. He's fast, but he just has to play out 100% the whole time. He's too passive. But he said that one time Bronny got pissed and he was killing a lot of guys, and some guys were currently in the NBA.
Yeah.
It was just like, but you know how it is. You have these guys that they don't play 100%. All of a sudden they score 4 points, 6 points here. Or they shoot 30%, they miss clutch free throws, and then they get stuck in the bench the rest of their career. So, I don't know. But I just feel like he has the right team. His dad, Rich Paul, all these guys, like his agent and stuff, like they're going to put him.
His new coach.
So we need to see like a Linsanity.
They're going to put him. No, they're going to put him in the right situation.
Yeah.
Insanity.
We need to see a Linsanity from Bronny. Just first game, drop 20, and be like, okay, we're good now.
I mean, listen, from a story perspective, I'd love to see it. Like,
Yeah.
I hope he gets drafted.
Yeah,
I hope he plays with his dad. 'Cause
Oh, yeah, he'll get drafted.
I think that'll be the coolest thing. Like, I remember, like, at least not remember, but I know it would be a good story in general. If we're talking his skill level, I don't see that.
It's just, will
and I hope he
have
proves,
to move.
I hope he proves me and every other person that's doubting him wrong,
Yeah.
Or-
And I feel he can be a 20-year NBA player, that 9th, 10th man off the bench. Like, I feel like if you're going to take a chance, you can take a chance on the last name James. Personally, like LeBron done so much for the game, and he's so talented that you could be like, hey, we take a shot on his son. Maybe it takes him 2 or 3 years. Remember, LeBron came in at 18, killing the league. So you give him, remember, Bronny's only 19, so you're like maybe 22, 23, and you take the chance. Because he can go back to college and get paid crazy money, too. Yeah. And then this is his first full season without the heart condition and stuff like that. Maybe they unleash him and see what he's able to do. But if he doesn't do good, then his stock completely goes. Then he can go undrafted. Yeah. So now they're using that, kind of like that excuse, which is, you have heart condition. You don't want to push the kid. But it's just like now it's just like, okay, his college numbers really don't count because he didn't play enough minutes. Yeah. So that's kind of like, so it's a catch-22 there.
I think deep down, that's one of the things that bothers me. Is the fact that, like, if it wasn't for his dad only having 2, maybe 3 years left, probably really 2, he would have stayed in college. Yeah. And the advice that the scouts, NBA scouts, and the teams around him would tell him to stay in college, build up your stock. But let's be real, he's leaving early, so a chance to play with his dad, because he's as raw as he is and all the skill he can have, he's leaving early because of his dad. If his dad wasn't who he was, he'd be a 3-year college player and probably be one of the better players in the country. But that's I think one thing that kind of bothers me, because I would have loved to see him with a shortened season play at the sophomore level, see where he's at, and see where he could really get drafted at. And because he's not doing that, I think that does rub me wrong a little bit.
All right. Moving on for Bronny, let's talk about the Travelers Championship. The wins and the drama. Scheffler finished first and Tom Kim finished second. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I mean, it was a good playoff. It's unfortunate that it got overshadowed by, the ending. So,
yeah. No, I mean, I'll tell you, like, we've watched golf forever, right? Now, we haven't watched it that close, but we've watched ESPN forever, so we've always kind of known what's been going on. But since watching golf closely in the last couple months, we've seen Scottie Scheffler get arrested. We've seen a really good one-hole playoff with Tom Kim. We've seen protesters. We've seen Bryson DeChambeau come from Live and win the last tournament.
Rory Troikin.
Rory roaring with his 3-foot putts. Golf is like at an all-time high right now.
Yeah, it
Golf
is.
is thriving. It's
Golf
going
is
really
very,
good.
very popular.
Obviously, Full Swing probably plays a lot into that, and just golf being really available, more available to more people, more welcoming. Scheffler was just nasty the last 4 days. Tom Kim getting that birdie on the 18th to force the playoff was awesome. He absolutely choked when they played the 18 again. That was tough to see for him to go right into the bunker. But yeah, I mean that's what you want to see from the field, right?
I just didn't understand the protest of what no golf on the dead planet, but
But you're messing up the grass.
you mess up the grass. Yeah, with coloring. I'm sure it's biodegradable for whatever, but that I was just like, you're messing up these beautiful greens here.
Yeah. It's just like when the protesters go into the Louvre and they try putting paint onto the Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
First off, it's covered by glass. They've learned their lesson. But it's just like, what is that going to change? Yeah, I just never understood it. I'm sure they have a cause. I'm sure they have a reason.
Shout out to security, man, because I saw some nice tackles.
Man.
Yeah.
I saw someone with that illegal hip tackle.
Well, the cause is bringing attention to it. So we're talking about it. So they just like, okay, what were they protesting?
But that's the thing. I still don't know.
Yeah, they're just stupid. Like,
Yeah.
there's ways to go about it. And then
Just
back to
because
Scotty Scheffler, he's a beast.
just because you're hitting 140 doesn't mean
Big shout out to Scheffler. He got arrested, and then people were thinking like, "Oh, this could be the Tiger Woods." Like when he got into the accident, he never was the same. But this guy came back and won. And listen, give him like 2-3 years, and he's gonna be considered one of the greatest of all time. He's on that type of heater.
Yeah.
he
Number one in the world right now,
Yeah.
and he's still doing it. Even last week he had a rougher week in that tournament, but like he has his spots where like even though he wasn't at the top of the leaderboard, people are like, gotta watch out for Scotty. Gotta watch out for Scotty.
Well, Scheffler is considered number one in the world right now, but if you see his stats from, I think it was somebody posted today, it was Tiger Woods stats in 2000 and Scotty Scheffler's stats for this year, identical, and it's like 16 wins,
Yeah, he's on a
10
heater.
top 10, like it's insanity.
Yeah. I did see, and it's probably unfair to say it in Scheffler's case, but then it was like also another stat where it was like how many weeks Tiger Woods spent at number one and how many more weeks Scheffler would have to be at number one to come close to it, and it wasn't even close.
Yeah.
And that's not against Scotty Scheffler. That just speaks to Tiger Woods' dominance.
Yeah,
Like,
that's just
it's
how Tiger Woods was just that guy for that many years, you know?
It's just
Yeah.
to be that dominant
Yeah.
in one sport.
Scheffler's been that guy, but for like a couple years.
And arguably one of the toughest sports ever. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
some of the most gifted athletes in the world struggle to play golf.
Yeah.
Look at Charles Barkley. You see that swing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, Tiger, he came out at the right time. He was marketable. Big deal with Nike. Helped him out a lot, too. I don't feel Scheffler is that marketable. He's good, Scotty Scheffler. But not taking nothing away from Tiger, but Scheffler's on a heater. Like, and the competition, I feel like, is better now than it ever has been.
Yeah. I hope we continue to see the live guys come over and play. Obviously, much better players on PGA as a whole. But you still got obviously Bryson DeChambeau, one of the best players in the world, still over there. I don't really care about any other guys. I don't really care for Brooks Koepka, whatever. But you enjoy seeing all of them play together because then it's kind of like there's no excuse as to who's the best player right now, right?
Yeah.
Like Bryson last week was a
Yeah.
beast when he beat Rory, right? Like, and obviously we talked about like, did Rory lose it or Bryson win it? Mixture of both, but let's hope that they continue to figure it out. And
We need Rory to get a win. We're gonna win a major.
Rory's already handsomely paid. Not too worried about it. Rory's got what, 4 majors?
Yeah, he's got 4. And we gotta stop calling
10-year drought.
missing 2-foot putts Rory's.
I'm gonna call him Rory's from now on.
I mean, it is a good verb, but it's also so disrespectful to one of the best golfers. Oh man.
Today's also the championship game of the College World Series.
Oh.
You got Tennessee.
I saw Tennessee was up 1-0 earlier.
Against Texas A&M Aggies. So
Here we go.
I just want Tennessee to win so they can play Rocky Top and
Where we at? College
sports.
sports. It's over. Not. Scores. College baseball. 6-3. Tennessee's winning in, what's that say? I can't see it.
Bottom 8th, maybe? I don't know.
Bottom 8. Tennessee's up 6-3. Wow. They were down 1-0, right, to start the series?
Yeah.
They've won the last 2 now, or they're going to win the last 2.
This year was 8 teams from Omaha. It was ACC and SEC only.
Wow.
No Big 12, no other conference in it. And this is the SEC championship, which sucks because SEC dominates football, dominate baseball now.
Good for SEC. They can't touch UConn in basketball, though.
All right, that's all we have for today. Just a couple of things to mention. Next week we'll have YouTuber, poker player Kyle Fisher on. Go check him out on YouTube. What else we have?
Let's see. We got a WSOP code up right now. If you go to our website to purchase a T-shirt, put code WSOP on there. It'll get you free shipping on your order. That's good until next week. Another addition in terms of hats. Or another addition in terms of apparel is hats. Got a couple pre-orders from some of our local guys. We may open up the pre-order online as well. We're going to have a black and a gray hat available, which is very much similar to this one right here that a lot of people love. However, it's going to be slightly different, kind of more of a golf performance fitted hat. But yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah. Well, we just want to thank everybody for supporting us and you know, all the follows and subscribes and, you know, shares and all that. So big shout out to Instagram. You guys have been really popping off this week. TikTok, thank you very much. And YouTube. So we just appreciate you all. So follow us, share us with everybody, and we'll see you next week.
A couple shout outs. Charlie out there, Campos, Snap Call guy.
Yep.
WSOP events. He did, was it Venetian event?
So he bagged heaps in, I think it was a 100K event at Resorts World, which we need to follow up and see how that's going. But
and Ryan Slocum out there.
Ryan's out there.
So
Petey's out there.
A lot of guys out
He's
there.
grinding cash right now.
Yep. Yeah, shout out to everyone, and especially all those that continue to support us. Hopefully you guys like this kind of setup, so we're readily available on all platforms. We'll see what the feedback looks like, and we'll continue to do that. But like I said, we'll have an interview set up next week, so slightly different format. But other than that, guys, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Main event coming.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know, I'm feeling myself right now. It's a new year. We about to do this. Let's go. I feel like the king of my city. Tony Montana. Whole lot of bands I gotta spend. I might go cop me a mansion. I feel like the king of my city. Tony Montana. I'm feeling godly. They wanna stop me. They tryna hold me for ransom. Now if I said it, I meant it. A lot of them feeling offended when you always winning and winning. I'm sorry you made a decision. A lot of women that I've been with, it's none of your business. I'm keeping my life on the low. Got a lot of shit you don't gotta know, cause all of the music gon' handle its own. These rappers be part of reality shows. That ain't for me, I'm one of a kind. All of your clout gon' run out of shine. I'm an investment, nothing to mess with. I just be getting better over time. I feel like I'm Tony Montana, the way that I live it. I'm making a beat and I kill it. I haven't missed in a minute. They tryna do what I do, but the shoe never fitted. I feel like the king of my city, Tony Montana. Whole lot of bands I gotta spend. I might go cop me a mansion. I feel like the king of my city, Tony Montana. I'm feeling godly. They wanna stop me. They tryna hold me for ransom. I've been feeling underestimated. I'm in between irrelevant and famous. I ain't really tryna be no A-list. All these rappers getting carried by playlists. Now they all come and go by the minute. They ain't really popping like that, it's a gimmick. I done built this all up, now I'm winning. Cause I got real fans, they stay for the vision. I'm talking India to Italy. If you're not rocking with me, you an enemy. I done put all my value in the energy. A lot of people real weak, I'm talking mentally. Please don't vent to me, there's no time for that. If you wanna hand out, there's a line for that. They selling you dreams that are not for sale. This boxed up shit, I will not fail. I feel like the king of my city, Tony Montana. Whole lot of bands I gotta spend. I might go cop me a mansion. I feel like the king of my city, Tony Montana. I'm feeling godly. They wanna stop me. They tryna hold me for ransom.